2. I don't think it's running. Hello, and welcome to not Market Unfiltered, although we will talk about the stock market for a second. Welcome to Coping with Donald. I'm Phil. It is Tuesday afternoon, July 29th, 2025, in my 96-degree apartment. Can't wait to go for my walk in a couple of hours. And then take a nice, cold shower. It's like the best thing about my life right now. There's a couple things I want to wrap up. Well, one thing. Before I move on. The first one is about the homeless people and how they may be taken off the streets soon. Or will be taken off the streets soon. You know, it may never happen that Donald Trump sends out an order, rip homeless people out of the streets and disappear them. Or put them in any area that's vacant. I mean, remember, he's building all these private prison holding areas, and they need to be occupied so that the grift can continue and these people get, like Marriott prices to detain people. It may never happen that way, but you have to look at the track record. The track record of Donald Trump. He has no qualms about disappearing people. He has no qualms about splitting up families. The man doesn't care. All right? He's inhumane. But also, everything he's doing is going to lead to more homelessness. He's denying all sorts of FEMA money to areas, including Arkansas. Oh my God, that's where Sarah Huckabee Sanders is governor. He's withholding FEMA aid to these places that have wrecked houses from floods, from fires, from surprise storms and tornadoes. That adds to homelessness. He is taking away Medicaid for so many people when half of the country doesn't have $400 for an emergency. That's going to add to homelessness. He's cutting food stamps. That's going to add to homelessness. Everything the man does is adding on to homelessness, or trying to. You throw in a recession with that, a loss of jobs, okay? Throw in a loss of jobs, and you can see the potential for this. And we don't even have enough housing. Isn't it amazing? We won't build homes for people. But we don't even have now the housing for these detention people right now. And again, what happens when they're in there? They're going to be thrown into cells. It's not going to help with their mental condition, which is one reason why there's so many homeless. Okay? It's not going to help them save up money to get into a new apartment, and you need, 3 times the rent? That's another thing to consider. They're not going to come out of this detention with the money to do this. Where is the end of this? Do you see the end of this? Because I don't. If you do, comment below. The other thing I want to mention is his trade deals. He just came out with one with who the other day? Oh, the EU. That's right. And he's going to do China next, although China's just asking for another extension. Let's just say, by some miracle, first of all, he's not doing deals with anybody. He is just putting tariffs on them, which I'm sure they don't want or agree to. And they're only just even talking to him about it because they don't want worse tariffs, okay? So he's putting tariffs on everybody. Excuse me. Oof, I'm sweaty. He's putting tariffs on everybody. And he is, let's see the way to put it, trying to extort them to get them to invest money in the United States, and he comes out with these numbers. And these things are probably just going to be loan guarantees. Meaning, a company in the United States would borrow money, and whatever bank is lending them the money, wherever it is, the Japanese would be guaranteeing these loans. Which is bad for them, of course, if the loan does not get paid back. But I think they're just trying to wait him out. They're waiting for him to die. They know he's not in good health. They know he's crazy. It was so embarrassing when the woman negotiating for the EU had to take 5 minutes out and go, Donald, we all know you're such a genius. It is such an honor to sit in this room with you and talk about tariffs, or whatever the hell she said. It's the most bigliest, big, huge deal. How embarrassing. And he's not embarrassed. He doesn't realize that they're mocking him. I don't think any of these governments have any intention. Where are they going to get this money from? They don't have any intention. What, they're going to cut their own food stamps and kick people out on the street? I don't think so. Because they're regular governments. This is an irregular government. The one that we have now. We're the outlier. We're the joke. And so they'll just say, yeah, oh yeah, what, 500 million? And then Trump takes it and he crosses out the number. 600. I like 600 more. 600 billion. And the other companies are just going, yeah. And you can see by the body language of Trump's people, except for that Lutnick guy who, would you really buy a used car from that man? But they're all like looking at the ground and looking depressed because they know this isn't a real deal. And it's not signed. It's just a framework. And I think these other countries, framework. And I think these other countries are going to kick the can down the road until Trump expires. And they're just hoping it'll be sooner than later. And then they're hoping that J.D. Vance will take over and he'll say, yeah, I never really agreed with this tariff stuff. So I'm the president now, so I'm not going to do it. And Lutnick, I'm going to replace you. So before you get too excited about all the trillions coming into America, don't. If somebody's going to build in America from another country, it's because they want to. Not because Donald Trump is making them or suggesting it to them. Because they want to. All right? So maybe we need to get our country back on track so that they want to. Right now it's too politically unstable here. Nobody's going to put money here. Nobody. Americans don't want to put money here. That's why they buy Bitcoin. I want to talk about Superintendent Ryan Walters of Oklahoma. Ryan Walters is the face of education control in this country. And in Oklahoma, he's not a superintendent. He's I think, superintendent of education. He's basically the top education guy in Oklahoma. Which is kind of embarrassing. I wouldn't advertise that to people since Oklahoma's like third from the bottom in education. But he has been leading the movement to get books out of libraries that seem to hint about sex. Talk about, bringing Jesus back into the schools. He is purchasing, I don't think the money's been approved yet, but he's purchasing Trump Bibles to put in the classroom for all the students, thinking it's very, very important. Because I guess a Trump Bible isn't really a Bible anyway, because it's involving Trump. But he had a meeting with several higher up people Now, it was Ryan Walters, okay? Very young man. He's probably in his early 40s, late 30s maybe. And he had a meeting with some higher ups in the Oklahoma Department of Education. And it was done on, a Zoom kind of setup. And in the background, with the sound turned off, so I thought that he probably wasn't aware, even though, don't you have a picture of yourself and you can see what's on the screen? But he wasn't aware, and in the background there was a TV set up, and on that TV was basically naked women porn. At least it was women. So now everybody's like, whoa, we don't understand. Well, he's a phony like everybody else. He's a phony. He's a power-hungry, butt-licking phony. And apparently it's from like the 1970s, because what would be different about 1970s porn, besides that loud music that used to give you headaches, and today's porn, is the people didn't shave. Sorry, YouTube. But they didn't shave, so it was pretty obvious that's where it was from. And most of the people that were watching it were so stunned. So stunned. It would be like having it on the background behind the altar during communions. They were so stunned to see this that they didn't say something like, Ryan, are you aware of the TV that's behind you? They didn't even do it. They just let it go. People are so afraid of these Trumpian people in authority that even to help them, they won't do it because they're afraid of the consequences. Everything's great, sir. Another example of hypocrisy right there. Okay? These people cannot be in positions of power. The final thing, everybody has been, it seems like Trump is doing a taco number on most of these tariff talks. But it's very important. Everybody seems to be pumping the stock market up thinking, okay, we're going to get tariffs behind us. We're never going to get tariffs behind us. While that man is president, we will not have tariffs behind us. Even if everything got signed, he'll say, well, you haven't been giving me enough of that investment money you promised. I'm raising your tariff. It's going to always be something, one thing or another. Or, gee, you let fraudsters off in your country. I like fraudsters. I'm going to increase your tariff. It's always going to be an ongoing thing based on Trump doing his mafia shtick. So be very, very careful with the stock market right now. Okay? I can't deny that it's going up all the time. I don't understand why. Nobody has any money here. I don't understand why they keep wanting to sell meat overseas. Nobody wants it because it is substandard to them. The beef. Okay? Could you imagine China sending tainted bottled water into the United States and insisting that our government allow it to come in without a tariff and force people to drink it? No, that wouldn't happen. And that's the same thing with the meat. And can you afford meat? I can't afford meat, and I'm in pretty good shape. I don't want to spend that money on meat. That's ridiculous. So if you ship it overseas, I guess there will be even more of a shortage of meat over here, or tariffed amounts from Australia or something, and that'll just boost the prices up even more. But I think this man has decided he's going to just ignore the whole thing about prices from now on. And when somebody says, hey, look at the inflation, he's just going to say, there isn't any inflation. The numbers are crooked, they're rigged, etc. Or maybe he'll just have the government rig them. Okay, as we skip down Authoritarian Road. This is Phil. Have a great day.